All right, hello everybody. Welcome to another Quality Shot boxing live stream session with myself, Mo, and I'm joined by Ali. How are you?
I'm not too bad. Hi, Mo. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Yes, feeling good. Looking forward to this one. We just finished seeing the Serrano
Mm,
a food fight. So Serrano's just won that
mm,
featherweight contest, unanimous decision. One judge gave it 99-92, the other judge gave it
mm.
97-93. So clear, pretty much. I wouldn't say clear win for Serrano, but I mean, it looks like comfortable unanimous decision victory there. So we're moving on, I think, to the final and main fight, which is obviously the Joe Joyce and Parker fight. So I guess I might as well start by saying I think it's generally speaking considered a 50-50 fight. I think the bookies have the fight in
Mm.
favor of Joyce to win. But what are your thoughts, Ali, about this?
Oh, this is going to be interesting. I think. I mean, I don't really look at the odds like that. That into gambling side of things. I don't understand that, but I think I think Joyce is probably the favorite for it. I think. I mean, I say that with a bit of hesitation, just because Parker, he was a former heavyweight world champion, and I think that he still can pose a particular. Sorry, what's it? He can still pose a threat per se. But I would say I'd just edge it to Joyce because I think based on the momentum in terms of the careers, I think Joe Joyce is progressing, whereas Parker is at the point where he if he loses this, it's very hard for him to bounce back. So I'll say based on the momentum, I'll probably edge it to Joyce.
Right. I definitely agree with you in that Joyce has way more to earn from this to earn from this from winning this fight than Parker does. I
Mm,
do think that to some extent, Parker is coming to maybe the latter stages of his career. Obviously, Joe Joyce, he's not very young, and a lot of
mm,
people they do mention the fact that he's obviously in his kind of like mid to late 30s at this stage, if unless
mhm.
I'm wrong, and he
He's 37, I believe. Joyce
yeah,
is 37, Parker's 30, so the
that's
age is
correct.
quite significant.
That is incredibly significant and interesting as well because I actually thought Parker was a bit older. To be honest, he looks a bit
Mm,
older than 30. But yeah, and people are saying that Joyce obviously has more to kind of benefit from winning this fight. Obviously, whoever wins this fight will be mandatory for Usyk. That is a very big deal. It is
mhm,
worth noting that if Parker wins this fight, I do believe that Joyce has a rematch clause that he can enforce. Whereas
mhm,
if Joe Joyce wins this fight, Parker does not have a rematch clause. So all things considered, it looks like it all points towards um, I don't know, boxing in general probably favoring Joe Joyce to win this fight because he seems to then
mhm.
have the ability to set himself up for a Usyk fight. And I do think that Joe Joyce would probably be more of a threat to Usyk than Parker would, especially given the fact that Parker has fought AJ, for example. AJ obviously fought Usyk and wasn't able to do the job. I don't think Parker is a better version of AJ necessarily. I know they're different fighters. I know styles make fights and so on, but I do think Joe Joyce would pose a different type of threat to someone like Usyk than Parker would. So I do
Mm.
think, generally speaking, that it would be maybe better for boxing from like a pay per view point of view, like a monetary point of view for Joe Joyce to win the fight personally. Now, in terms of my actual
Mm.
prediction for this fight, I can definitely see where you're coming from because I think Joe Joyce probably has the momentum. However, I'm going to be a bit controversial. I'm going to say Parker wins on points. Um, that's my view.
I think that's fair enough. I think, I mean, to respond to your first part, I think in regards to the styles make fights, I don't think that Parker is as hesitant as Joshua. So I think Parker will be able to. I mean, he's quicker than Joshua in my opinion. So I think he's possibly got that for Usyk. Whereas with the whole monetary thing for Joe Joyce, sorry, yeah, you said that Parker's
People
not
would
is.
definitely pay to watch. Well, yeah, what I'm saying is people would pay to watch Joe Joyce versus Usyk
Mm.
more than they would to watch Parker v Usyk.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. But in terms of who would more likely to win, I can see why you think Joe Joyce, because he physically is an absolute animal. They call him a juggernaut for that reason. He is a juggernaut. Having said that, they fought previously at the amateurs. I think the World Amateur Championships, if I'm not mistaken, a couple of times. And I think, from my, unless I'm mistaken, I believe Usyk has beaten him more times. I think they fought maybe 2-3 times, and Usyk has beaten him, I think, twice or so. Again, I could be wrong. So I think if they were to fight, going to that fight, I think Usyk will have the psychological edge. Having said that, I mean, the amateur ranks are different to the professional ranks, and
Mm.
we see this with many boxers. When they progress, they improve dramatically. So I think it'll be interesting to see how far they have come since then. I do agree with you. It will be much more of a money spinner because of the rivalry from the amateur days. As for who would win, it'll be tough. I mean, Usyk is much quicker, so he'll be able to much quicker than Joyce. So I think he'll be able to go in and out, box around, move around. But it will be interesting to see what happens. As for your last point, as to who would win, I can understand why you'd say Parker, because I mean, I also believe that Parker, like I said earlier on in the video, I don't think he's a walkover like that. I mean, he's a former world champion. He's fought some of the biggest names in current world boxing. So I still think he's got that element, that pedigree that could carry him through. But we will see. We'll see how he gets into the fight. I mean, if he tries to trade blows with Joe Joyce, that's not going to work. I mean,
Yeah.
the way I see it, this fight is very much a strength versus speed. Joe Joyce is the strength guy. Parker is the speed guy. So if Parker uses his brain and is able to, go in, throw a few quick combos and come out, bam, 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 quick, bam, 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 quick. I think, and if he does that for the duration of the fight, I think that could win him the fight, and hence why I do agree with you. If he wins on points, like, I'm not surprised, if that was the case. But Joe Joyce has got knockout power in either hand, and I think getting struck by him is lethal. So we'll see. We've got a few more minutes.
Yeah. No, it's an exciting fight. I think I agree with what you're saying there. I think the way that Parker would win, for example, would be by basically staying out of range and not getting into a scrap. Because I think the way that Joe Joyce wins, in my opinion, is more likely through a knockout TKO victory than through points. I think he's too slow, personally, to be able to secure a points-based victory, unless he genuinely dominates the fight. By which I mean landing really heavy shots, clear to see. Judges value the fact that he's the more aggressive fighter, because he will be the more aggressive fighter. The guy never really goes back. He's always going forwards, Joe Joyce. So I think he's likely to he's likely to be the aggressor in the fight. So if he does dominate each round, for example, lands heavy shots, then he could potentially win on points. But I think the likelihood is that Joe Joyce is probably more likely to win this on a KO TKO basis. And Parker is more likely to win this on a points basis, basically.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. Completely fair, very fair analysis, and I think that's something that's the most logical thing going forward. I mean, even though they say boxing is anything could happen, I think realistically, that's what's going to happen.
What do you think of Joyce's chin? Do you think do you think Parker poses any threat in terms of his own power, or do you think his chin is genuinely just made of granite and just it's difficult for him to even get knocked down? Or do you think he'll ever get knocked down in his career?
I
Who could
think
knock him out? Who could knock him down? Is there anyone in the heavyweight division?
yes, either Joshua or most likely Wilder. But even then, I mean, put it this way. This is going to be an exaggeration, but to knock out Joyce from the chin, you would need a couple of sledgehammers, not just one. Those mechanical ones as well. They see on the streets. But even then, I'm joking. I think Parker has enough power to knock out anyone. I mean, anyone in boxing. I mean, especially in the heavyweight division, they say one punch is all it takes, which is true. So I think Parker definitely has the potential to knock out Joyce, but it's going to be extremely difficult, and that's not something that Joe Joyce that Parker should try to do against Joe Joyce. I mean, it'd be a very silly thing for him to try to. Even the only time I can, if I was Parker and I think, okay, let me go for the knockout, is if either he's heavily losing on points and Joyce is really tired, like extremely tired.
Mm.
So we'll see, man. I think. Sorry, 1 second. I think. Yeah, in terms of the heavyweight division, realistically, only Wilder's got a realistic prospect of knocking out Joyce, like clear cut. But even then, it's going to be hard to do so. I think,
Yeah.
in my opinion, this is going to sound controversial. I think Joyce has got the toughest chin in the heavyweight division, alongside Ned Fury.
Fair, interesting. Stephen asking, anyone got a link? Sorry, mate, we cannot hand out links. We're paying for this one through BT Sport box office. It is £20 in the UK, and to be honest, me and Ali were saying that we think that £20 is too expensive for this fight. Which I think is a fair analysis. Like, this is a very interesting fight. So it's a close to 50-50 fight, maybe 40-60 fight. And obviously, both fighters they haven't lost the past, say, 6 fights each of them. So it's a very interesting fight to see, strength versus speed, etc. But I think £20 is too steep for this, to be honest. We are paying for it because we have to, because this is how we operate here at QualityShot Boxing. So unfortunately, we can't hand out any other links and so on. I'm sure there are some available out there if you use Google and so on. But yeah, we're basically watching it clean through BT Sport box office.
Yeah. It's the
Sorry
best
about
use
that.
as well. It's the best thing to do as well. Just do it,
I mean, you get a good quality stream through it, and you don't get the kind of patchiness or the dodgy adverts from going down the dark side. So yeah,
we
I
advise
do agree
everyone to do
there.
it that way, man. We advise everyone to do it that way.
Would have been nice if this was on DAZN though, right? I mean, they're pretty
Oh
good,
yeah.
pretty decent subscription service there, and you wouldn't have to be paying box office as often, for example.
I prefer the zone to
All of them, to be
to
honest.
BT's all of them, especially compared to BT box
Sky,
office.
yeah.
It's a lot more, like, so much better.
I agree personally. So we got Parker coming out now. He's just making his entrance.
Yeah.
Hey Jack, no, the fight has not finished. The fight is just about to begin. Just got Parker, who's just about to make his entrance now. He had Fury behind him and a few other folks, obviously from the Fury camp. He's been
Has he?
training. Yeah. Do you not know
Well,
Parker's been training with
oh yeah. I've seen the
with
past few years. The
yeah
Fury
yeah
camp
Yeah, he's been training with
has
I
the
believe
fight
he's been training
finished.
with Andy Lee.
Mhm.
And yeah, he's been chilling out in I believe he's been chilling out in Morecambe, if I'm not wrong.
Morecambe, yeah.
Um
Ooh,
yeah,
yeah.
for
'Cause
the
that's
past
where
year.
Fury is up north.
The
Really?
backstory here is that the backstory is that Parker was finding he was coming into a bit of a low period in his career. And he reached out to Fury and said, I'm not feeling that great with where my career is
Mm.
going, etc. And Fury basically said, look, live with me, train with me,
Mhm.
etc. And so he's been sparring with Fury every now and then, and training with him generally. And yeah, I think for Parker, this is his opportunity to try and kickstart his
True.
boxing career again, basically.
Well, that's a beautiful story, man. I mean, like, you can tell there's a sense of brotherhood between them, and I mean, I think even when Parker fought Huey Fury, after the
Mhm.
fight, all the Fury camp and especially Tyson and Joseph Parker, they became very close, and you've seen them at other fights with each other, supporting each other, always videos, hanging with each other. That's what boxing's all about. At the end of the day, you spend 12 rounds trying to kill each other, then immediately
Yeah,
it's like brotherhood for life, and that's
yeah,
the
yeah,
ironic, the weird beauty behind the game, behind the sweet science. But
yeah, yeah.
I'm just
No,
seeing Joyce walk in, saying he looks
yes.
absolute menacing, man. Like, if I was ever on the road and I saw him, I'm walking across. I'm walking. In fact, you know what? I'm walking back the other way. My mom sent me
um,
just grocery shopping and tell her just order it online, man. I'm not. I'm not going walking in with him.
yeah, he looks tough. He looks tough. He's got a very strong facial structure as well. And I think you were mentioning bone density. His
Yeah,
bone
yeah, like five
density is
times.
yeah, 5 times the average person or something like that, which is
Mhm.
obviously testament to why his chin is so strong. Why now? 011 saying, I think Parker on points. You see, I
Mhm.
agree. I think Parker on points. I think it's a minority opinion if I look at the if you look at kind of some of the odds and so on. But um, yeah, I can see Parker winning this on points potentially if he boxes right.
Mhm.
If he boxes if he's quick, stays out of range, doesn't get into a scrap,
Mhm.
doesn't allow Joyce to just keep coming forward and pounding into him. Because if he allows that to
Mhm.
happen, eventually Joe
Yep.
Joyce will get will eventually damage Parker.
Yep.
Eventually, if Parker boxes intelligently, ties him up if he's not doing too well,
Mhm.
stays out of range, pat pat, keep jabbing, stay out of range, etc. He can win on points potentially. I mean, because of how slow Joyce is, I mean, I just don't see him winning on points. Obviously, I think to the lead up to this fight, I've
Mhm.
seen some stuff around. Oh, I don't feel comfortable with the judges, etc. In terms of like for Parker's sake, I've
Mhm.
seen some people saying these types of things, and obviously Joe Joyce, home fighter. We've discussed how economically, from a boxing like money point of view, it makes more sense to give the win to Joe Joyce. There's a rematch clause for Joe Joyce if he loses, a bit dodgy.
Mhm.
How's that going to affect the Usyk fight? Because whoever wins this is a mandatory for Usyk. There's a few points here which suggest well, if it's quite close, maybe the judges will just give it for Joe Joyce. And we've
Mhm.
seen how many times judges have kind of robbed fights before. I'm not saying this is going to be a robbery. I mean, it's going to be a very competitive fight, personally. But
Mhm.
yeah,
No, I agree. It's going to be a um it will be a very entertaining fight because it will be the ultimate show of strength versus speed. I mean, I agree with your comment and why now 011's comment about Park on points. I can fully, I can understand. In fact, I would agree with that, and I think just forget all the odds for a second. Forget all of that to push that aside. I think realistic. That's something that's quite realistic. That could very much happen because, like I said, Parker is no joke. He's no doormat for Joyce to walk all over. Like I said, former world champion. He's fought some of the biggest names in world boxing at the moment. So I think he's got that experience, the pedigree, the caliber to push him, to propel him forward. In this fight, and take that going forward and push him. Make sure which would allow him to really put the pressure on Joyce. Having said that, if he slips up or if he's winning and he gets carried away and then he becomes lax again,
yeah,
it will be his fight to lose. But
yeah,
we'll see. I can see it going either way, either
yeah,
Parker points or Joyce knockout. There is no way I think Joyce would get the points decision. And if this is a close fight, I do see this going with in favor of Joe Joyce because
yeah,
Frank Warren is promoting it. He's Frank Warren's guy, and
yeah.
like I said, financially speaking, I mean, with the whole rematch clause,
Hmm.
Parker doesn't have one, and financially speaking, like you said, it makes sense to push it to Usyk.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Agree.
Parker has really got to box very well if he
Hmm.
wants to go far. If he wants to do this, Ismail
Yeah,
Salas, yeah, that's his trainer.
we're gonna see. We're gonna see how good he boxes because this fight's about to start within the next minute now.
Hmm.
Just announcing
Hmm.
the fighters. We've got 44 people in the live stream. Thank you very much for tuning in. Appreciate it. We're gonna try and go through a round by round commentary, give you our
Hmm.
thoughts. We're gonna try and score this in an informal way. We've got little pieces of paper here. We're gonna score it round by round. See what the judges say, see what the pundits say, see if they disagree with how we're scoring this. Um, so yeah, looking forward to this one. Please do drop a like and subscribe if you're enjoying this content. We do appreciate it. Helps the channel grow. Joe Joyce, Joseph Parker, about to start with the next 30 seconds now.
Oh, it'd be
And by
interesting.
the way,
Big
funny,
fight.
funny pre-fight build-up. It's been hilarious, to be honest. I know some people have been put off by it. I found it hilarious, all the pre-fight stuff. It's just been because
Mm.
these two are very
Mm,
good
mm,
guys, which is why they're both quite nice characters, to be honest.
mm. Mhm, mhm,
Whoever
mhm.
wins, they're good people, to be fair.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think both of them are very lovely, very polite chaps, and I think there'll always be some love towards the end, between them. And ultimately, at the end of the day, irrespective of whoever you support, that's how it should be. That's how it should be.
Yeah. Gary's saying, thanks for this, guys. Good fight, but not for 1999. 100% agree. It's not worth £20. It's not worth £20. It's a good fight. But it's not worth twenty
Hey, it's
pounds.
not 1999, it's 1995, bro. Come on, every penny counts.
Especially not in this recessionary, inflationary time. It's not worth it, to be honest. Yeah, I think it's money better spent on electricity and gas and heating now and all that stuff.
Netflix, man. Pay for Netflix.
Time to start cancelling all their subscriptions.
Oh, they started now.
Oh, have they on yours? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Has it
yeah, they
started
start.
on
Yeah,
yours?
yeah.
I
No, no,
got
I've
2
just
minutes
refreshed. All right, yeah,
31.
cool. All right, yeah, round one underway. So yeah, Joyce just coming forward as he does, trying to pop the jab.
He
Lands a
looks
jab there. Go ahead.
Joe Joyce, whenever he boxes, he looks very amateurish, as in the way he throws, the way he's slow. And that's why I can understand why people criticize him a lot for his slowness, for his lack of speed. But
Mm.
the power he makes up for is ridiculous. Like he wouldn't
Yeah,
get to the position he is now if he wasn't.
yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Yeah, he has landed a few jabs there, Joyce and Parker coming back with some nice shots of
Hmm.
his own. To be honest, they both had some pretty um, decent jabs land. Parker just staying out of range there as Joyce tries to land a jab.
Hmm.
As expected, Joyce trying to walk Parker down. Um, nice jab to the body by Parker.
Parker looks like he's gained a lot of weight.
Oh, he did. Yeah, he's coming at the biggest weight he's
Ah,
ever come in at, I
man.
believe, and so is Joyce. So, which is funny, right? Because he needs to be quick. But I think maybe he's still coming. I think he's still coming lighter than Joyce. Nice jab by Parker. Well, obviously he's learnt from the school of Tyson Fury, maybe for this
Yeah, I was
fight as
about
well,
to
right?
say.
Doesn't matter.
I think.
And a nice jab again by a nice jab again by Parker, who then tries to follow up with a bunch of left hooks, but it doesn't really
Mhm.
connect, to be honest. But you can see the crowd getting worked up for Parker there. I think there's going to be a few Parker fans. Oh, Parker with a wild right hook that just misses and goes to the body. I think he was a bit low there, but it looks like
I
Joyce
could
wasn't complaining.
I could be wrong, but I think maybe on the Parker's left eye on his right on his left sorry on his left eye on his left cheekbone, like towards here. I think maybe he's starting to get bruised up. But
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. I saw it. It looks like a
Can you see can you see it? Yeah.
tiny bit of marking already on Parker's face.
This is
Although
going to
no,
sound
go
sorry,
ahead.
carry on. No,
I
no,
was
no,
going to
you
say
go you
no
first.
cuts to the eye or anything like that though, so he looks okay.
But I mean, the more if that truly is a bruise and Joyce starts to press that, then it could very much end up cutting.
Yeah, yeah, I agree there. So one to watch, but for now, no immediate threat. End of the
Oh.
first round. I mean, that was a close one to be honest. Who are you giving that one to?
I would say Parker. I think Parker landed more and he was more active in that round. But I think
Fair.
if he carries on with that same intensity, he's gonna tie himself out. He's landed more. I'll definitely give this to Parker.
I'm interestingly giving that to Joyce because
Oh,
I
really?
think Joyce landed the heavier
Me do
shots.
that.
So I'm giving that first round to Joyce personally. Um, I
But
think it was close, but I'm edging it to Joyce for the first round. I just
that's
think
fair enough.
Parker was slightly less.
But that's the thing. You can't, in my opinion, you can't give the round based on who landed more power shots. You have to give on who landed more total shots. I think if you're saying who landed the more powerful shots, who was more lethal with their shots, I would say Joyce. But I think overall this round, the first round, I would give it to Parker. That's my take
Fair,
on it. I mean, obviously
fair.
interesting. You
It's
say,
interesting we've got a differing first round, so
yeah,
let's
yeah,
see
yeah.
how the second round plays out.
I'm giving first round to Parker.
And well, it looks like nothing really happening right now. Parker trying to go to the body, but Joyce staying out of range.
This is going to
Joyce
sound
back in.
very
Go ahead. Yeah,
controversial, but
that's your hand
Joyce, in
right.
my opinion, reminds me of Joe Foreman a lot. I think he's the closest person to George Foreman.
George Foreman. Yeah, I
Oh,
think
he's
he was
bleeding.
called a.
Parker's bleeding. Parker's bleeding.
Oh, he's not looking
Oh
good.
my god.
Yeah, I
Is
think
he-
people have referred to him as a smaller George Foreman, I think. And I mean, looks like Joyce having some success there with those punches. He's already causing Parker to bleed, as you said.
He's like
It's only
George
the
Foreman
second
in the
round.
sense that he's slow, but he's got
Yeah,
tremendous power.
yeah,
He's an absolute brute. He will bully you. And
yeah.
also, just as controversial, if not more, I think Tyson Fury is. Oh my days! Oh, look, he wobbled him. He's
Okay,
wobbled him. He's wobbled him.
Joyce is wobble Parker and it lands a heavy left jab there.
Oh,
I mean,
oh my god!
Parker looks in trouble, to be
Oh my
honest.
god! Oh
He's
my
trying
god!
to shoot to the body. He should really be wrapping up, trying to
Oh my!
tie up now.
Oh, he's trying to
Oh,
get. He's getting
nice
into
right hook
scraps.
by
He's getting
Parker
into
though.
a
In
scrap.
between all that,
Couple of jabs. Come on.
nice, yeah, nice jabs by Parker. And I mean, looks like he's okay. Okay, again,
94 viewers.
nice jabs to the body again by Parker. Although he was
He's
rocked,
gonna
as
get.
you said.
He's
I
gonna get
just don't.
knocked out. He's getting too
Yeah,
tired,
I
man.
mean,
He's gonna get too tired. And he's gonna get
oh,
done.
it just eats a right hook, Parker. You just feel as if Parker's shots aren't doing the same level of damage that
Yeah,
Joyce's
he's
shots are doing.
tired. He's
And
tired.
yeah, I mean, Parker now doing maybe the wise thing, which is tying up Joyce. Referee stepping
Oh,
in,
he's gonna
break
get
the two
harassed.
fighters up. You can see blood
Gonna get
around the top
tired, man.
lip of Parker. I
His
think it's in his nose,
nose is
basically.
bleeding, bro.
Yeah.
His nose.
40 seconds left this second round. Ooh,
Parker's
nice.
throwing. Why is Parker throwing power shots?
Well, I
You are
know, but
not going to brawl with Joe Joyce. That makes no sense.
yeah,
Use
you're
your
right.
brain.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing, to be honest. I think he needs to box. He's just throwing like hooks and going to the body. I mean, maybe he's trying to slow Joyce down. Maybe he needs to throw those power shots at his body or something. I don't know what he's. Well, actually, slow him down. The guy's already slow. I don't know what he can do. To be fair, He's not doing too well, to be
He's
honest.
not
10
at
seconds
all.
left. This second round.
That,
It lands a
I
nice
told you that.
jab to the body though. But
Yeah, I mean, he's landed some shots, but I mean, this round, I'm giving this round to Joyce.
yeah, I'm giving it to Joyce well. But again, to be honest, if you score this according to how many shots you land more than the other person, I feel like Parker
Mhm.
did have quite a high level of activity. It's just that once again, I put this down to who's landed the heavier, more damaging shots. And yes, obviously activity is important. I do completely agree with you. So it's definitely important. However, I think the damage you deal and how aggressive you are, I think judges look at that as well.
Okay,
So I
fair
mean,
enough.
we're agreeing on the second round though, 10-9 to Joyce. So you must have it even Stevens, and
Yeah.
I've got Joyce up by 2 now.
As in, don't get me wrong. I think this round was far closer than the first round. I think this round was closer than the first round.
Really? Okay,
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. I think the
So you think
first
the
round
first round is
Parker did
more
too
clearly
much.
Parker's?
Yeah. I think Parker did too much to establish himself in the first round. Normally, the first round, you just first round, 2 rounds, maybe 3 rounds max. You test out the other fighters. But now I think Parker went straight in.
Yeah.
And
Etty
he's getting
saying
tied
Joyce
up in
got
the
a jab,
corner, man.
100%. He's got stiff jab. Joyce. He can cause
If anything,
damage just with a jab.
if
But we're in
anything,
the
you'd
third
expect
round, by the
Parker
way.
to move around. You'd expect
Yeah,
Parker
and
to move around a lot more.
Parker's just not looking good, man. He's getting backed into the corner quite a lot. He's working the jab though. He's working the jab now.
Do you know what'd be
But I just
interesting?
think, yeah, go ahead.
A Joyce Fury fight. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh no,
He's getting
no,
knocked out. He's getting knocked out,
about.
bro.
He's getting
He's
knocked
getting
about
knocked out.
right
He's
now,
gonna get knocked
Parker.
out. He's gonna get
taking a
knocked
lot
out.
of damage. You feel like he's losing his balance every now and then, Parker, but he's not. He's not
He's gonna get
wobbling
knocked
or
out.
anything. You can see the crowd looks quite nervous for him. At least the crowd who,
Oh,
like
back.
some of the Fury folks, look quite
Oh,
nervous for him.
he's animal.
He's
Oh,
taking. Oh, Joyce with a
bro,
strong
I
right
paid
hook.
20 quid for less than 10 minutes of fight.
Ooh.
I paid
Ooh,
10.
a strong left hook by
Yeah, fight's gonna
Joyce
get.
there. Oh my
So,
goodness! And there's 1 minute 50 left of this third round. I don't know if Parker's gonna
yeah,
survive
he's
this.
tired. He's tired.
He
I think
looks tired. He's eating he's eating hooks like anything.
he's not
You can
just
see
eating
how
hooks.
menacing
He must have ate
Joyce.
something else. Look at the size of him.
Joyce looks so menacing as well. You know he's
Fully.
trying to go in for the kill. 1 minute 30
Honestly,
left
so
of this
true.
third round. Oh, nice nice left hook thrown by Parker. I missed all of this. But he's obviously not winning this. He's not winning this round. I'll tell you that much. Alter Ego saying Joyce beating him up
I
100%.
agree. Alter ego, very good comment. I agree.
Joyce is absolutely. Oh, Parker coming back with a shot to the body. You know, he's just not having a good. Oh, trying to go with an uppercut followed by a right hook there, Parker. But Joe Joyce is completely unaffected. Gary's saying feel bad for Parker. He's such a nice guy. Agree. Both
Yeah.
these fighters, nice people. And I don't know what's next for Parker if he loses this fight as well. He's obviously trying to get his career back into step. He's obviously won his last few fights, but felt as if he was having a bit of a low period in his career. 40 seconds left the third round, and it's clearly a Joyce round so far. He's
Easy.
dominated the first half for sure.
Do you know what's going to be interesting? If Joyce, or if and when Joyce fights Usyk, because we saw in the second Joshua fight, he hated the body shots. Now, Anthony Joshua is someone who's hesitant to get struck on the face. Joyce has no problem being struck on the face. And again, someone who's not a natural heavyweight, someone's not really renowned for their power.
Oh, nice left hook by Parker, though.
Okay, yeah.
But Joyce took it. Joyce just took it. You see? He's leaning on Parker, though. But it looks like he just took it. And a nice right hook again.
Price of Fury is going mad in the background.
I mean, yeah, Parker with some nice shots at the end, but it's just Joe Joyce seems unaffected. It's a Joe Joyce round for me. I mean,
easy.
I got Joyce up by 3, which is interesting because obviously I thought maybe Parker would win this on points, but Joyce is winning this on points so far, according to my unofficial scorecard. You got Joyce up by 2, I imagine.
Yeah,
1, sorry.
Yeah.
1?
No, by 2.
Oh, by
Parker
2.
The first round, Joyce round 2 and 3.
Oh yeah, fine. King saying Joyce is a great talent. People underestimate him.
Yeah, I agree with that. As in, I'll be honest, I used to be guilty of that. I underrated Joe Joyce a lot based on his speed and how he looked amateurish, but I never really appreciated and respected his power. I mean, till I actually saw him fight in person early on in his career. Absolute, I saw in person just how strong he is, and I think to go taking that into his later and into his future career, I think that's going to help him massively. And I think in regard. Round 4 started. Just a quick point. I think if he fights Usyk, it'll be a different fight compared to Joshua. I mean, Joyce is not afraid of being struck on the face. Joshua is, and we saw in the last fight, Usyk hated those body shots. Whereas, they gave it just like me, Richie Widow's scorecard. First round to Parker, and the last 2 to Joyce. But I think Usyk will hate those body shots by Joyce. And I think that's going to be a very interesting fight to see. See if Joyce can avenge his amateur losses.
Yeah, absolutely. Eddie's saying Joyce is a tank. Definitely. He doesn't seem gassed out or anything as well, to be honest. Joyce is still coming forward. Doesn't look particularly tired. Still just landing those heavy shots. We're in round 4, 2 minutes left. Yeah, low blow there by Parker, but Joe Joyce doesn't do anything. He's just fine with it. I'm just trying to think, what can Parker do now? What's he trying to do? Is he trying to ride it out? I don't know.
He's finding the corner too much.
Yeah,
use your brain, use your speed and move.
Nice left jab by Parker, though. And is there a bit of any swelling on the left eye of Joyce? Probably not. Maybe a bit of marking.
Maybe it looks
like fine. Yeah, it looks fine actually. 1 minute 30 of this 4th round. You're wondering if Joyce will slow down at any point. Who knows?
He's a juggernaut. He doesn't slow down.
Yeah. Oh, nice right hook by Parker. To be honest, he's having a slightly more calm round, I think, compared to the previous 2. Wouldn't you agree? It looks like the tempo slowed down a bit in this 4th round as well, to be honest, which I think favors Parker to some extent because he's able to maybe pick his shots a bit more, trade, and kind of get out of the way. He's not being stalked as much as he was in the last 2. Nice left, sharp left jab by Parker there. He's not really landing the power shots, right? Which, as you were saying, Ali, was a stupid idea maybe in the first few rounds. Trying to go toe to toe with someone like the Juggernaut is maybe a bad idea.
Oh, nice right.
Oh,
Nice
very
right,
nice. It's like overhand
right.
right by Parker, right?
It
Very
was a
nice.
clean right hand, but Joyce came back with a few good, landed a few good hits.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll
I
put
mean,
that.
so far I'm giving this round to Parker. 15 seconds left.
What?
What do you give?
This is I would say a tougher round for me, a swing round, but I'm
Oh,
gonna call
another
it swing round.
attempted overhand right by. Oh, oh, I think he's having some success with the overhand rights, Parker. And that's the end of that round. I'm giving that to Parker. I mean, I didn't give a single round to Parker this whole fight anyway. But I think he did enough, in my opinion. So I've got
I'll,
Joyce up by 2.
I'll say it's a swing round. I could I could possibly swing it towards Parker, but it would be very tight. So I'm gonna keep this as a swing round. Then at the end of the fight, I'll give my scorecard.
Why? Why are you
I
giving
don't
it a
know.
swing round? Judges need to put something down, man. Put something down. Put something down. You have to. You know how much
It'll be tough,
Fazan
man. It'll
hates
be
10
tough.
tens. You know how much he hates them. You need to put something down.
Oh,
What those overhand rights? Very nice by Parker, to be honest. Enough to edge that 4th round, in my opinion. So
Parker used to be so much smaller than this.
Fury camp went crazy as well when they saw those overhand rights getting landed. So 5th round underway of this 12-round fight.
You know, when I used to box, I used to go on every Fridays. I used to train down at Earlsfield Gym, so Joe Joyce's old gym, not by his actual coach, by another group, but who would basically use Earlsfield. And I used to see pictures of Joe Joyce all over the room, like all over the gym
Really?
when he was going. Yeah, you can tell he was destined to go far from young. He was like the star of the
Olympic
thing, in my
background as
opinion.
well.
Yeah,
Was a big deal. Big deal in
yeah.
big deal in
He
boxing, in
got
my opinion.
silver in that one. He won
Yeah, yeah.
silver against Joyka, but I mean Joyka's career hasn't really flown since then. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's the most decorated amateur fighter in British history. I think he's won quite a few tournaments internationally, in his amateur days, and he's had so many fights. When he was a kid, I mean, he went to study at a secondary school close to me, Elliott School, but I think they broke the buildings down. He used to be a rugby player in school, till he decided to
Really?
get into boxing. Yeah. Can you imagine Joe Joyce playing rugby? Can you imagine him playing rugby?
He'd be pretty good, I think. Yeah. He's well built, isn't he? So yeah, I can see him being a decent.
You're not
rugby
grabbing him. You are not grabbing him, but you're not throwing him. If he grabs you, bro,
player.
that fight's finished.
Etty's saying, "How's Joyce? How these shots coming forward? This isn't normal." Yeah, yeah. I mean, how is Joyce coming forward and just firing off these shots like nothing's backing him away. He's obviously taking those overhand rights, for example. He's taking those jabs and hooks or whatever from Parker, but he just doesn't care. He's just going forward.
Well, it must be that
He's
food
mad.
he's eating, man. It's the food he's eating. I'm not saying anything bad, but he's originally Nigerian, so I know that Nigerian food is African food is very healthy, especially Nigerian food.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Apparently it's like tough and like very good for you. That's
Just
so far. Who are you giving it to?
I'm giving this 5th round to Joyce.
Yeah.
It's just a bit more active. It's landing better, and he's the aggressor. Oh, nice
Oh,
left hook by Joyce. But then Parker comes back with one himself. Parker's looking tired. I'm not gonna lie, he looks tired.
yeah.
In
I
there.
called it. He spent too much in the first round, and I think the fear is getting to him.
Oh, nice right hook though by Parker, to be honest. But again, Joyce looks completely unaffected.
Mm-hmm.
Completely unaffected here.
Taking these shots and keep coming forward. He's a juggernaut. Who is it, Etty? The guy is not human. He looks like a robot.
There you go. End of the 5th round. I'm giving that to Joyce.
Yeah. I'd probably give it to Joyce as well. Far more aggressive than that.
Joyce up by 3 on my unofficial scorecard. 2, 3, 4.
5 rounds. I have 3 rounds to Park. 3 rounds to Joyce. 1 for Parker, and the 4th round swing round. Probably just about edge it to Parker, maybe. So maybe until Joyce up by 1. I think similar to what's it called? Similar to the Golovkin Canelo fight, where I think overall, if you look at just the pure aggression throughout the course of the fight,
Hmm.
Canelo won it. But if you look at the like on an individual rounds,
Round by round basis, yeah.
yeah, on a round by round basis, maybe some rounds, maybe Parker just edged it.
Yeah, I agree. Like the momentum of this fight is in Joyce's
Oh, agreed.
favor, but round by round, Parker's had some decent rounds to be honest. Hasn't been too bad for him. We're in the 6th round now, and Joyce is just throwing
Yeah,
those
he's
shots
in
to
for
the
the kill.
body there with those. He looks like he is going for the kill,
Oh
isn't
my
he?
god, he's in
Coming
for
in
the
with much
kill.
more speed, of really
He's
ripping
going
those
in for the kill.
shots to the body there.
He's in for the kill, man. He's in for
Overhand
the
right,
kill.
which misses. Left hook that lands.
He's
Parker
going
just
in for
against
the
the
kill,
ropes
man.
right now. Another stiff left jab by Joyce.
Combinations.
Combinations to the body. Parker's still
Yeah,
standing
Parker
up,
looks finished.
but
Parker
he
looks
looks
finished, man.
exhausted right now. And man,
Hmm.
he's taking a left hook taking a left hook there. 2 minutes
Come
left
on,
this
Parker.
6th round as well. He really needs to weather this storm, Parker.
No, but if he's just fighting on the back foot, then and he
You know,
doesn't spend much energy.
if he goes down, even if he gets back up, I think Joe Joyce will finish him, or the referee will
Oh
step
yeah,
in.
I
Do you know
agree.
what I mean? Because
I
he's
can
going to
see a referee
take
stopping this. I
damage.
can see a
I can
referee
see
stopping
referee
this.
stopping this as well. Parker's still staying up though.
Come on,
You know, the
Parker,
guy doesn't
man.
get knocked down too much in his fights. He just took a body shot there though.
But when
I
he
mean,
fought Dillian White, I think he got knocked down twice, if I'm not mistaken.
that must have been a while back though, right? Because like, when did he last fight Dillian White? I think it was been a while back.
He fought Dillian White in 2018. I think he got knocked down twice. Then
Yeah,
eventually
fair. Well,
knocked out. No,
I think
unanimous
I
decision.
consider
Unanimous
him to
decision.
have a pretty decent chin though, to be honest, Parker. Like, lands
Yeah,
a nice hook, Parker. I think he's taken a lot of damage in this round.
yeah. I
Joe
mean, to be
Joyce,
honest, you carry
yeah,
on.
go ahead. Oh, well, I mean,
No,
Joe
no.
Joyce having started off with quite a dangerous assault seems to have slowed down his assault now as well, to be fair.
I think, to be honest, if Parker loses on a unanimous decision to Joyce, a bit of a weird one, but
Yeah.
credit to his chin. I mean, that chin has to take those hits, those rockets by Joe Joyce says something different about you.
Yeah. 30 seconds left this 6th round, and you just see Fury looking on just intensely at this fight next to his dad.
Yeah, I think I'd give this one to Joyce.
Joe Joyce with an overhand right, which doesn't connect. Parker just sitting in the corner right now. Joe Joyce just... both fighters just tying each other up. Well, mainly Parker tying himself up. Referee stepping in, about 5 seconds left of this 6th round.
He's fully going at
Shot
it.
to the
Credit
body
to
by
Joe
Parker.
Parker.
Yeah,
He's
another
hungry
shot
for
by
this.
Parker to the body. Not bad, to be
Yeah,
fair,
yeah.
but it's a Joe Joyce round in my opinion there. I mean, it was crazy in his assault at the first half. I got
Yeah,
Joyce up by
close.
4.
Close, but I would say I'd edge it to Joyce.
Reese saying Joyce is going to be a vegetable by 40. You know what? I do think he's taken so many shots to the head, Joe Joyce, that you do wonder if that will eventually take its toll on his health. Not. I mean, obviously, yes. What did you say? 5 times, 6 times bone density? Whatever
Yeah,
it
he
was.
had about 5
4.
times bone density.
Yeah, I mean, he's got great bone density, sure, but like, you do wonder if this man just keeps taking shots to the face, like what is going to happen eventually? Is that registering? Is that damaging his brain or whatever? Like, I have no idea, but he just...
I mean,
I'm not gonna say he's a bit slow sometimes.
mhm.
I don't see those signs necessarily. I think that's just because he just isn't the type of guy to like chat a lot in pre-fight conferences or
Yeah.
whatever. But
2
yeah,
rounds. The judges gave it 2 rounds to Parker. As in, they gave the same rounds as I did.
fair.
The same rounds as I, if I'm not mistaken.
7th round now, and Parker with a nice shot to the body there. He's trying to overhand right, doesn't work.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna change
Goes
my
for the shot to
prediction.
the body.
I think based on this fight, even the rounds, I think Joyce has done enough to win on points.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
I agree. I
unanimous
think
or split.
he's probably gonna win. Yeah, I think Joe Joyce can even win on points now.
I don't, yeah, I
But
don't.
I
Yeah,
mean, now, what does that mean, right? That now means Parker needs to knock him out. But
yeah.
that's not happening, is it? So
Unless he does madness for these remaining 6 rounds and he wins in
just
such a way, then
even then, it won't be enough. I don't think the judges won't give it because we're in the seventh round, right? I mean, I can see the judges having given pretty much every round except one, maybe to Joe Joyce, and like what round 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, they're bound to give one or two more to Joe Joyce, right? So I think it's a done deal.
that's what I'm trying to say. I
Bonus
mean,
points.
realistically, that would happen, but I mean, unless Parker pulls something like a rabbit out the hat, then
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. I like his
Parker,
haircut. I like
Parker eats a
Parker's
left
haircut.
hook followed by a stiff jab and then a right hook. You like his haircut? Did you say?
Yeah, that's a slick haircut. I wish I could have that.
Who, Joe Joyce's or Parker's?
No, Parker's.
Really?
Yeah, that's a nice one. What's his barber? But I may have to go up to Morecambe. Yeah. But credit to Parker. I mean, that's one thing you can't deny. He's got his bravery. He's trading. He's throwing like shots. He's getting trading blows. Stupid, but give him credit where it's due. I mean,
Yeah,
his bravery is ridiculous.
yeah,
He's not
I
afraid of
agree.
getting into it.
I agree. My goodness, he's taken a bit of a battering
No,
right
no,
now.
he's not.
Though.
He's
Right hook,
dodging some. He's dodging some.
50 seconds left of this seventh round. Yeah, he's doing a good job trying to slip these punches right now, Parker, and lands a shot to
He's
the body.
tired, man.
Yeah,
He's
he
tired.
does look a bit tired, to be honest. I mean, Fury just again watching on. I'm surprised he's not shouting from the crowd, but maybe I mean leave that to the trainer, I guess. Whoa, what's happening?
No, it's
Oh,
25 seconds.
Parker just stood there and looked at Joe Joyce like it just.
Oh, he's bleeding on his right eye.
Oh, he's
Parker's bleeding on his
damaged.
right.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
damaged, man. It's not looking good for him. Yeah,
it's not
blood's
looking good,
pouring
bro.
out of Parker's right eye there.
He's gonna get stopped. He's gonna get
Joe
knocked
Joyce with a
out.
nice right hook. Oh no! Oh no!
Tired, man. He's tired.
It's just
He's
pouring at
tired.
his right eye, trying to get the blood out of his
Yeah,
eye there, so he can see properly. That's the end of that.
I'm giving
Seventh.
this one to Joyce. I'm
Sorry,
giving
yeah,
this
the
one to
seventh
Joyce.
round. Yeah, I'm giving that to Joyce as well. Let's see if the Cutman can get rid of that problem for Parker there. I mean, Parker doesn't want to be fighting with blood getting into his right eye. He won't be able to see properly. So I got it up. Sorry, I got five rounds to Joyce. Yeah, I got Joyce up by 5. Okay, Triple C Freedom says 8-round KO, which is the next round. Let's see.
It could. I mean, if Parker decides to engage in a few more like dogfights, then it could. If he's smart about it, popping his jab and moving, then
yeah.
Yeah, he's still bleeding, man. Like it's still pouring down. It's still pouring down.
As soon as he goes back out, Joe Joyce is going to target that eye.
Yeah,
right? He's going to target that cut above his eye, and he's going to start.
Is that blood on his shorts? Oh, that's not blood on his shorts, is it?
There is blood on Joe Joyce's shorts, but it's Parker's blood.
Oh,
nice hook by Joe Joyce.
Yeah, I think the ref's going to stop it soon.
He's going in for the kill. He's going in for the kill.
Blood all over his arm. Oh my days. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness, he doesn't look that stable, to be honest, Parker. It almost feels like it's just a matter of time before it gets stopped.
Tired,
you can see the referee's looking very carefully. The thing is, he hasn't been knocked down, so I think it would be not right if the referee jumped in and stopped the fight. I don't think that's appropriate. He hasn't even been knocked down, Parker. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think
bleeding, but it isn't too bad. The cut isn't horrible. Do you know?
No, but if it's above his eye, so if it ends up getting into his eye, then
after Salah says, Coach Joyce is better with jabs and combinations. Greg saying Joyce will clean Parker out in round 9. Off my cloud saying stoppage on the cards.
Yeah.
Why now saying Joyce is like a JCB cross with a tank and the Terminator. Can anyone put Joyce out?
That's true. That's actually so true.
No problem, mate.
Coach Joyce is better. What does the king mean
Um,
after Celeste's coach? Joyce's birth.
so as in, I think he I think because obviously his new
Oh my god.
coach.
Oh my god. Joyce is
1 minute
throwing it.
20 left of the 8th round, so just
Joyce
going
is
for the
throwing it,
fight.
man. Joyce is absolutely throwing it.
Overhand right, which doesn't connect there by Joyce, but he's just throwing punches and bunches now. Anything that he throws, if it lands, it's
His
gonna
eyes
hit him a
closing
bit.
up.
Oh,
His
nice
eyes
one
closing
too.
up. His eyes
Not
closing
half.
up on his left eye. Parker's left eye. He's got his bleed. Do you remember he was bleeding early on in the fight from the left and the right? His left
Yeah,
eye's closing up. I think Parker's team would probably throw him in the
throwing
towel
the
if it
towel.
carries on. Look at his eye, man. Look at
Yeah,
his eye.
maybe. Oh, it's not looking good. I don't think. No, there's no
Not
way
at all,
Parker's
man. Not
won
at
this
all.
fight on points, right? So he needs to knock him
No,
out.
no
I
way.
don't.
No
I don't see
way.
it
No
happening.
way.
Oh my god, it looks like he's taking a lot of damage, man. I think they're looking at him very carefully in his corner.
I think the JCB comment is quite ironic, though. He's really hurt him. He's gone ham
Marianne
on
saying
him.
fight is done. Unfortunately, I was rooting for Parker.
Yeah, man.
Stiff left
Yeah.
jab by Joyce. Overhand right by Joyce. Bloody hell, man, taking
He's throwing
damage.
this combination. Ah, man. I feel sorry for Parker, man. I actually really like Parker.
Yeah, same.
Like, he's
So I mean,
such a
so do
good
I.
guy.
But I mean, Joe Joyce is just dismantling him in this fight, man. They're on? Would you say they're on different levels?
They shouldn't be, really. I mean, Parker's.
Oh, what's going on? Was that the end of the round? That's the end of the round. Okay.
Oh,
I
no,
thought
no.
he
He's throwing
stopped it or
toes.
something. No, he's not stopped it.
He's cut. His right eye looks cut.
He's not stopped. Okay,
Look at
I mean, that's
Joyce's face.
obviously
Look at
you give.
Joyce's face. Unaffected.
I know. You're giving that round to Joyce, right? So I got Joyce up by
Easy.
6.
Easy. I'd have to give
We
this one
got
to.
1, 2, 3, 4 rounds left. 4 rounds left. Winehouse saying I thought Parker would have fought a bit smarter. Unfortunately, Joyce is
Same.
just not
Same.
human. I agree. I thought Parker was going to box him intelligently.
Exactly. That's why I said. I said
Damage.
that
He
from the
took
beginning,
damage
man.
too much. He was trading. He took damage in the process. Probably got cuts as a result. And now it's a bit too late for him.
Do you know what I think the problem is with Parker? I think he gained too much weight and he said, let me beef up, let me try, match the power. That's not going to work. Play to your strengths. In any sport, anything you do, you play to your strengths. Parker is he should have been the faster fighter. And we've seen it in this fight. I mean, he's been faster than Joyce. In and out, couple of combinations out, couple of combinations out. He's trading. I don't understand. It's absolutely ridiculous from him. I mean, credit to him. He's brave. He's got,
for sure.
But
yeah, ninth round underway now. Parker just popping the jab.
So 5, yeah. See, they gave the same rounds as I did, exact same rounds. See, these are fair scorecards, not like the ones we watched with Canelo and Golovkin, where the guy gave all rounds.
That one's crazy. That one was crazy. Yeah.
He's in for the kill, man. He's going in for the kill.
Nice hook by Parker amidst all this power coming the other way. Parker with an attempted shot to the body there.
I think in response to your comment in the previous round about are they at the same stage? I think they are, but going in the opposite directions. So when you go up to escalators, you have one going up, one going down. You pass someone on the other side, so you're on the same sort of level, same height on the escalator, but one's going up, one's going down. I think Joyce is going up, Parker's going down.
Yeah, it's a good analogy there.
If that makes sense.
That's appropriate analogy. Yeah, I don't know what's next for Parker after this, to be fair. I mean, well, obviously, we're already calling it as if he's lost the fight. Anything can happen in boxing. We're in the 9th round.
That's true.
But, I mean, Joyce doesn't look like he's been unaffected at all. I don't see this guy eating some crazy power punch and fall onto the canvas and not being able to get up. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just...
Oh, Parker looks done. His eye is
Parker
finished.
looks really tired. There's 1 minute left this 9th round.
Finished. Come on, Parker, man.
He's
At least finish the fight, man. Come on.
He's bleeding from both eyes. Is that right? Not eyes, but like bleeding.
Yeah, as in especially. Oh, that one looked like it connected. Even Frank Warren telling him jab, jab, jab.
Oh my days, man! He's taking damage.
You feel for him. You actually feel for Parker.
Yeah. Robert's saying, see how good Usyk is now. He will beat Joyce. Tiny in size compared to him as well.
Oh, I disagree. It'll be interesting because I mean, Usyk's got the skills, but Parker can take those hits, and we've seen based on the previous fight with Joshua that Usyk hates those body shots. Now the difference between Joshua and Joyce is that Joshua's afraid of getting hit. Joyce isn't afraid. Joyce can take them licks for days. So I think Joyce will take them hit licks and just hammer Usyk to the body, left, right, bully him. This is Joyce's natural division. It's not Usyk's division. And yes, they fought in the amateurs. There'll be rivalry, but I think they've come quite far since then. So I think it'll be interesting to see how that particular fight pans out. I mean, I know I say this all the time, but legit, it'll be very interesting to see. And I think Usyk's got more of a boxing brain than Parker, so I think he'll be smarter about it.
Yeah, and I think a Joyce Usyk fight would be worth 1999 or
Yep,
1995,
yep,
whatever
yep,
it is.
yep. For sure,
Um,
for sure, for sure.
so that ninth round, I'm sure you gave that to Joyce, didn't you
Easy,
as well?
easy.
Fine. Games saying higher rate Joyce now. He's good. He's really good. Etty, I think
Oh,
Joyce may be second on
KO.
heavyweight.
Throwing the towel. I think the towel. I think the towel should be thrown in yet. I don't think it should be thrown in yet. I mean, he's losing badly, but not that bad, if that makes sense. Not enough to warrant throwing a towel.
If he starts taking a lot of damage and you
Championship
see
round.
him kind of unable to properly like,
Hey, hold on, they gave it to Parker last round.
that's just dumb. No, I disagree.
Okay.
So in the 10th round on the way now. I mean, yeah, credit to Parker taking loads of shots. He hasn't fallen onto canvas yet.
He's stumbling, man. He's stumbling.
He's stumbling a bit now, though. Yeah, I think it's a matter of time. I think Joyce wants to get him out. It's so funny as well because Joyce has clearly won this on points already. It's the 10th round. He doesn't have to keep coming forward and landing heavy shots. He can if he wants to kind of take his foot off the gas a bit. But he's still the aggressor, even in this 10th round when he's clearly up on points.
It's true, and
He clearly wants to take him out.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I think he wants to make a statement that he knocked out or he's going in for the kill and to drive up the hype. But at the same time, if he does take his foot off the pedal, then I think Parker could take advantage of that and win it. I mean, we saw it with the Golovkin Canelo fight. The times when Canelo stepped back, Golovkin stepped up. And I mean, based on the scorecards, we don't know if the judges have the same exact scorecards. If that's the case, and Joyce is only 3 rounds up, these last 3 rounds or so could possibly swing it in Parker's favor. We don't know. I don't think Joyce should take it off just yet.
Yeah. Why not saying Fury v Joyce would be a good scrap?
Yeah,
I agree. Would be interesting to see. I would still give it to Fury, personally.
Yep.
But yeah, would be interesting fight to see. Game saying who's winning, because I'm not watching right now. Joyce is winning.
I'd say Joyce.
Joyce is definitely winning.
Joyce is.
On points in our opinion. We're in the 10th round right now, and I mean Parker looks like
Look
he
at
might
the
be a few
beating he's
good
getting.
shots away, really, from getting knocked down if he does take a few heavy shots that land flush, for example, because he's been stumbling at points. Yeah, Joyce is winning as well. Now says Pips. The points decision to Joyce was a surprise. Thought Parker would have boxed him. So the fight hasn't ended yet. But yeah, we've got Joyce on points so far. And I agree
Unless Pips
that
knows something we don't know.
no, I think Pips is saying it's confusing that Joyce is actually winning this on points because he thought Parker would have potentially boxed him like appropriately.
Oh, yeah.
I agree with that. We thought Parker would have been
My
a bit
God.
more clever with the boxing game. By the way, guys, we've got 216 people in the live stream, which is very cool to see. Thank you very much. Please do drop a like and sub if you do enjoy this this content. We would really
my
appreciate
God.
it.
Oh my days.
Oh, damn!
You
Did
saw-
you see that like
There were-
triple left hook by Parker at the end as well?
Even before that, Parker was throwing a couple of left hooks to Joyce, and Joyce just took it. You are not breaking him. You're not breaking him. You are not
And the
breaking.
thing is, you
Joyce.
see the Fury camp getting hyped about it, right? Which is great, and you can see people who are supporting Parker getting hyped about it. But as you're saying, Ali, he's completely unaffected by that triple or double left hook that Parker landed at the end of that 10th round. Completely unaffected. So you could just see that. What is the likelihood really of Parker knocking this guy out now? I mean, it's close to zero by this point. I give this round to Joyce again, personally. I think Joyce again just dominating the rounds so far. It's just all Joyce now by this point. Nice little bit of little flurry from Parker at the end, but I don't think it's enough to win that round.
I mean,
Why now saying Pips
beating
thought
that he's
exactly the
got
same
so
thing.
far is man.
Ali Marion saying, who will stop this guy?
Fury. Fury will beat him. Will beat Joyce, in my opinion, easy.
Mm-hmm.
Or Wilder
11th
with a
round
one
on the
shot.
way, by the way, people.
He looks finished. He's taking some hits. He's still going back at it. Oof. He's backed up against the ropes. A couple of combinations. Joyce is going.
Oh, nice right hook. And left hook as well.
He's telling him, come on.
Man, this guy's chin. I mean, Parker's chin, I rate that. What the heck?
My God, the beating he's taken is ridiculous. Absolutely.
I mean,
I wish I. Oh my God! One knockdown!
Oh
my God!
Oh my days! What the frick? What a
Oh
damaging
my God! Come on, Parker!
hook.
Come on, Parker! Get up!
Nah,
Get up,
Parker's not
Parker!
getting
Come
up.
on! Come on!
Parker's not getting up. Parker's not getting up. Parker's not getting up.
Finished.
It's over. It's over, guys.
Finished.
Damn. A crazy left hook, wasn't it? A left hook to
Finished.
end the fight by Joyce.
Oh
Parker
my days!
stumbling back, falling flat on his back and trying to get up, but just not enough.
Oh my
He got
goodness!
up probably at 9 or 10, but referee waving it off because there's really no point. You know what's going to happen if he let Parker continue. Joyce with a dangerous TKO. I think it was a TKO, right? Because he didn't get timed out. TKO victory by Joyce in the 11th round. Dangerous, man. That was a dangerous left hook. Do you see that left hook? Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy,
he was getting
savage.
But I mean, to be honest, I'm surprised he went down from that particular shot because there were some other shots that Joyce was throwing that Parker took. I mean, his resilience up until that point was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, how can you take hits like that and still go on? You're bleeding from both sides.
Commentator's curse, right? Because we were just saying how he's managing to take all these hits, like rate his chin, etc. And the man that just gets dropped
crazy, man.
by a left hook. I mean, his resilience is crazy. I rate Parker's resilience there, but I think
I wish I had that resilience growing up, man. I wish I had that resilience.
Joyce, too much for him, man. Too much for him, and
off my cloud comments about Joyce being the best British. Let me show this. Joyce second best British heavyweight after Fury. Appreciate the comment. Thanks.
I agree. Although Joyce beat AJ, don't know, man. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, same.
Because you know AJ, his chin is not the strongest. He has been knocked down before. He's knocked down by Klitschko, for example, during the latter stages of Klitschko's career. So, yeah. I mean, that was a dangerous left hook. Oh my God. Boom. My goodness. Falling back. Parker just falling back into the ropes. Laid out back onto the canvas.
Right on the his temple sides. Yeah.
Right on the temple. Oof, that was an entertaining knockout there, but I mean, you got to feel for Parker because they're both good guys, right? Like Parker trying to get his career back on form, and it's really unfortunate for him. It is really unfortunate. However, what can we say about Parker there? That's something nice to say about him. I mean, he until that knockdown, very strong chin, and he'll be a great test for a lot of upcoming heavyweights who, for example, want to see if they're at an elite level. For example, I don't want to call Parker like a gatekeeper, but in many respects, he was a bit of a gatekeeper for Joyce in this fight to some extent.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the thing, as upsetting as it is to think that I think he's now at the stage where he's going to enter the Chisora bracket of fighters, whereby he's just going to be a challenge, a good challenge for those B grade fighters looking to enter the A grade fighters, if that makes
mm,
sense. I mean,
yeah.
if for example Usyk doesn't have anyone else to fight, I think I could see him fighting Parker,
I wouldn't
as in.
see. I wouldn't want to watch it. I wouldn't want to watch it. With respect, I just don't.
Mm,
What Usyk also said that I think he said his last few fights he wanted to fight Fury. He wanted a final fight in Ukraine. I think he said he wanted to fight someone else. I don't remember. It might be whoever wins this fight, as in for the Canelo. Did someone say that he was going to
yeah,
fight
yeah, no,
Canelo?
no, yeah. It was Canelo. He said he
He
wants to
wanted to
fight
fight
Fury,
Canelo.
Canelo, and then one final
I think,
farewell fight in Ukraine.
yeah, which is interesting. And I just don't think he would fight Parker, especially after he's beaten AJ. Like AJ's I think on a
Mm,
different level to Parker as well. I mean,
mhm.
Pip saying pure stubbornness by Parker kept him in there. Um, Kieran, they should have threw the towel in. Fair comment. I mean,
Mm,
if they threw the towel in, they would have avoided something like this. Quite a bit of a show reel of a knockout, to be honest, right? It's going to get played and played on the highlights and for the build up for Joe Joyce's next fights, right? So
mm.
off my cloud, AJ once, but no more. Sadly, I think responding to something else there. Wrong
Yeah,
game
I
plan
agree
by
with that comment.
Parker.
I agree. Absolutely, very good point.
Thank
I
you,
agree with that.
Marianne, for the kind comment. Great commentary. Greg, statement made by Joyce. Watch out. Boz saying, bloody hell, man, so sick of this shit with Sky Sports versus DAZN. I don't live in the UK, so I have to miss so many fights. Oh, I didn't know that. That really sucks that you couldn't watch this fight, for example, if you weren't in the UK. From what I understand, what you're saying, that sucks. But to be fair, mate, 1995 probably wasn't worth watching this for 1995. However, that knockout very good, and you'll be able to see on the highlights when it's uploaded on YouTube within
For
the next
sure.
hour, probably by someone. Triple C Freedom shock. AJ beat Fury and Joyce beat AJ.
No, I don't see that happening. I don't see AJ being Fury at all. I mean, I like AJ. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think he has the tool. He has it in him to beat Fury. Not at all.
I do not expect this, says Boz. I knew Parker couldn't KO Joyce, however. Yeah. I mean, like I said, at the beginning, I said Parker on points. I was completely wrong. I mean, we were giving it to Joyce on points when we actually watched the fight. And I think you said something like Joyce to win on TKO or something like that, or
Yeah,
KO.
yeah, yeah.
You predicted
I said
correctly.
KO. Yep.
Scorecards don't matter because the fight didn't go to the scorecards, but obviously we had Joyce winning anyway. So
Mhm.
nothing shocking about this KO or TKO. Clear victory for Joyce, in my opinion.
One
Was
thing I'll say though,
Mhm.
it'll be interesting to see what the official scorecards would be up until that point.
Yeah, it would. It would be interesting to see, and I'm sure they'll get rolled out eventually, right?
Mhm.
There'll be some pictures, and someone will upload it onto Twitter, and we'll be able to see. But I suspect they had Joyce winning comfortably. But I guess you're interested in figuring out
Mhm.
by how many rounds, and you're also probably very interested in figuring out the first round.
Yeah, I
When they
think the
gave
first
it
round
to Park.
Parker did enough to win it, but I think he spent too much energy on that, and I think that was very silly. I mean, like I think Pip's comment earlier, wrong game plan by Parker, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, someone like Parker should have used his brain, used his strength, and rather than use his physical strength, use his actual strength, which is his speed. Go in, pop a couple of jabs, combinations, keep moving, keep Joyce moving, keep him, make him lunge, make him hit, make him
Yeah,
throw, in, out. That's it.
Greg saying thanks for
No
the
swing
commentary,
rounds.
lads. Thank you very much. Quality Shot Boxing saying, "Are my comments being ignored?" They are, mate, because you should log in with a different account. There's no point responding to ourselves. It doesn't make any sense. Log on with F, as you always do. The account F. We know who you are. Boz saying, I guess Parker is finished now as a serious fighter. Such
I
KO
think
losses can end a career.
I think what Boz is trying to say, I can understand what he's saying, but I wouldn't say Parker is finished as a serious fight. I mean, what he's trying to say is Parker is finished in terms of fighting at the top elite level for the to pose a serious threat for world championship fights, for world championship belts. Don't get me wrong, he can enter fights for world championships for belts, but in terms of posing a genuine threat, I agree with him. I don't think Parker poses as much of a threat anymore. Like I said, I think he's in the same bracket now as the Chisora type, as the Pulev type, possibly AJ type. Who knows? But I mean that just below that B grade, just below the A grade fight. So the A grade, you'd have the Usyk, the Furies, those kind of people. Those people who, when they go into a fight, you think they have a serious chance of winning, or most likely they will win. I think now Parker, Chisora, they're just going to be like very tough challenges for either the world championship belts or for up and coming, fighters.
I agree. I agree with that analysis. Pips, Parker should have abandoned the KO in round 1.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, should have boxed. Should have boxed. Should have been technical. Facts.
Thank you. Thank you, facts. That is facts. Testament to your name.
Joyce is so underrated. A modern foreman. Agree.
I agree. And I'm going to also add on.
Slow but powerful.
Just like George Foreman. That's the biggest similarity they have. Obviously, in certain things they are different. That's an all-time great. Joyce is yet to reach that level, but plus in terms of the caliber of fighters they fought in the era, is a complete different class. But an interesting fight would be Fury versus Joyce. I mean, just because, in my opinion, and as controversial as this is going to sound, it will be the closest thing to another Ali versus Foreman, on the basis that we've established that Joyce is a modern day Foreman, but Fury is also like the closest thing to Muhammad Ali in terms of, in the division that they fight. They're very unorthodox. They don't, they move. Their fighting style is very awkward, very unorthodox. They fight, they're heavyweights, but they fight as if they're middleweights. They move like middleweights. Very controversial, very, boisterous, very confident in their abilities. If they say they're going to do something, they're going to do it. They've, very much, black and white. There's no sort of in between. You either love them or you hate them. And I think they've also, another ironic, similarity about them is that they both had time out of the ring. After they've won it, they've both had time out of the ring, obviously for different reasons. Ali had his ban, Fury had his, personal problems, but they came back and they ended up winning it. So I think they have quite a few similarities or coincidences in that respect. So it'll be very interesting to see them fight. Who wins? Who knows? I would edge Fury in that fight, in my opinion.
I completely agree, actually. When you mentioned the whole Joyce's like Foreman analogy, I was thinking exactly like, Fury's a bit like Ali, quick, sharp, got the gift of the gab,
exactly,
slightly unorthodox sometimes. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, totally agree. And even you put it down to the fact that both fighters were out for a bit, for example. 100%. It would be interesting to see those two fight. I mean, Fury obviously wants to come back for Usyk. I mean, let's see if he continue to take fights. He always says he's retired, but who knows? Marianne saying AJ lost to Usyk, but he's very dangerous. Yeah, I agree.
Still, I
AJ
agree.
Still poses a massive threat.
He's not out yet. He's not down and out yet.
Yeah, and then obviously I think Fury AJ might happen, which would be super interesting if it happens in December. So that'll be very interesting to watch.
Hopefully we go to that fight to get tickets.
Hopefully, yeah, that's the aim. Quality shot boxing on tour,
fully.
In the flesh. Boz saying that's what I meant. Iki-son saying Joe Joyce is the strongest heavyweight in the world right now.
Physically the strongest. He's up there. I wouldn't say he's physically the strongest because you've got Anthony Joshua, who's physically strong. He is a specimen. He is the most physically fit and the strongest athlete, in my opinion. But at the same time, if you're looking at brute power, brute strength, Wilder's up there. I think physically the most resilient is probably Joyce because he took some shots. He's strong, but he can also take some shots. I mean, if you're looking at both aspects, both the output, the offensive and the defensive, how well they can take shots, I think without a doubt Joyce is probably, in terms of a combination of both factors, without a doubt the so-called strongest one there.
Yeah, Just going through some of the other comments. Pips Fury will do worse than Usyk. Greg saying, let's hope Parker recovers and returns to his family in a strong and healthy state. Yeah, agree.
Most
He's a good
important,
guy.
first and
He's a
foremost,
good
that's the most
guy.
important thing.
F, great. F, hey F, good to see you. Great comms, guys. Love the chemistry. Like this video, guys, and subscribe.
Come on,
These guys
come on,
deserve it. Thank you, F.
Appreciate that. Whoever F is.
Chooks, nah, Fury, no, Ali.
No, it's my comment when I made the comparison. Of course, Ali is a different class, different.
No, yeah, I mean, Ali's the GOAT, to be
mustard.
honest, anyway. But
Oh, without a doubt, without a doubt. But I mean, there's
I
similarities
guess the
between
point
them.
here is that sometimes it takes Ali to beat a Foreman, right?
Yeah,
Sometimes
exactly.
it takes Ali to
Exactly.
beat a Foreman.
Very
Styles make
good. Very
fights.
good thing to say.
Chukas says Joyce v Wilder for me. It will be very interesting to see that fight. I think any of them, if any of these fighters fight each other, generally is an interesting fight to watch, regardless of whether they fought each other before or not. Fury, Wilder, AJ, Joyce, Usyk, right? I think any of these fighters just fight each other will be entertaining. I'll watch it. Triple C Freedom, Wilder, a pantomime show, most definitely.
To this date. To this date.
Speak it, believe it, receive it. Fury is the best, says Enrico. I think Fury is personally the best heavyweight in the division.
At the moment, yes, without a shadow of a doubt, easy.
Ikison, Wilder cannot beat that version of Joyce. Interesting. Enrico saying Wilder beats everyone but Fury. Oh, okay. I think Joshua
That's
would
interesting.
give him I think Joshua would do very well. I think Usyk would do very well personally. Some Fury until he beat Usyk. Tommy saying Joyce is stronger than AJ. As you already mentioned that, Ali, in terms of like what does strength mean in this context here? Heisenberg saying I knew Joyce was good, but he looked great tonight, apart from his lacking defense. The man's offense is his defense. He's crazy, man. The guy's a tank. He just takes shots. His defense is his chin. His defense is just his face. It's crazy. His defense is his 6 times bone density to the average person. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Just
gonna pop off stream for a second, quick.
Yeah, sure. So just going through some more of these comments. Thanks for all these comments, guys. There's a heck of a ton of them. We really appreciate it. Iki-san replying to one of the comments earlier. Wilder's actually overrated, he says. Tommy's saying AJ is manufactured. Pips, I don't think Joyce is underrated because he's a known commodity, pure power, pure resilience, pure stamina. Yeah, for sure. And I think this fight solidifies everything now. I think people were still wondering if Joyce really was the real deal to some extent. The fact that Joyce is older than many fighters. He's 37 years old. The fact that people say Joe Joyce is really too slow. I think Joseph Parker was a proper test for Joe Joyce in this fight. If you look at Joe Joyce's resume, at least his professional boxing resume, yes, I mean, he fought, say, Takam. He fought Christian Hammer, fine. Obviously, we all know about the Dubois fight. But these names aren't necessarily on the same type of caliber as, for example, a Joseph Parker. So I think Joseph Parker was a very good way for Joe Joyce to show that he's really on a really high level here, and he's ready for these big fights against the likes of, for example, Usyk, or even AJ, or Fury, or Wilder, and so on and so forth. Boz, I guess Fury put ideas in Parker's head. Lol, that he can KO Joyce. Yeah, I know. I mean, to be honest, Fury, I wonder how these two now talk to each other after this. I'm sure that they'll be all good, and Fury will come into his dressing room and say, "Listen, mate, you did the best that you could, etc."
Yeah.
You don't want to see these two kind of like split up or whatever. I remember on when Fury, I think, was attending Billy Joe Saunders' fight against Canelo. There's a lot of talk here and there about what happened after that fight and whether Fury just kind of decided to leave Billy Joe. I think there's a lot of people commenting on that and like people kind of stirring the pot, so to speak. But I don't think that will happen in this occasion. Icky's saying no. MJ up choice. Sean saying Joshua already stated he can't do 12 rounds due to his size. Joyce had no problem, not even a mark on him. You know, that's also impressive, isn't it? The fact that Joe Joyce is able to go a very long,
Mm.
pretty much the whole distance, obviously into the 11th round. The guy did not seem to have any indication of losing his stamina. Really impressive.
Mhm. I mean, I've just seen some of the rankings. David Hayes' top 10 heavyweight rankings: Fury, Usyk, Joshua, Wilder, Ruiz, White, Parker, Chisora, Joyce, Bakole. I think that's fair. I mean, that's fair enough. I mean, I see that someone's made a comment, Etty Orbs, about the current rankings: Fury, Usyk, Joyce, Ruiz, Wilder, Hergovich, Zhang, AJ. I disagree with that, man. There's no
Oh,
way AJ is eighth. No way he's the eighth.
Zhang was a beast, by the way. Do you remember that Zhang fight
Yeah,
on the undercard? Man was
yeah, man. Zhang was
crazy.
going at it.
Zhang was a
He
bad
was going
man.
at it. He was hungry for it.
That was
But
interesting
there's no way AJ is eighth. I mean, even though he hasn't boxed amazingly, to drop down to eighth, I think that's a bit too harsh, man. I'd put him. I'll still put him top five. Top five. Top three.
I
Possibly, but definitely third.
I put AJ above Wilder on that as well. Agree. I feel like Ruiz, I would maybe switch with Wilder, to be honest, as well.
Oh, I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say so, to be honest. I
feel
think
like Wilder
Wilder's.
would be. You think if Wilder fought Ruiz, Ruiz would batter him? I don't think so.
Well, I wouldn't say batter him, but I mean, if Wilder is smart enough to use his range, keep popping the jabs and pop out the odd occasional right cross, he's got enough to knock down Ruiz. Because we saw in the first Joshua Ruiz fight, Joshua knocked down Ruiz, and in the second fight, he made him bleed. And Joshua is a power puncher. He's a power hitter. Yet despite that, Wilder is more of a brutal puncher. So if he does land one of his haymakers or overhand rights, then I think he's got enough to knock out Ruiz. But at the same time, if Ruiz does get in close, because he's far more technical than Wilder, if he gets in and he lands a couple of hits, again, it could go either way in that sense. But I think Wilder's got enough to knock out Ruiz.
Right, Callum's saying Parker came in a stone overweight, not in the best camp for lifestyle. Yeah, I think he didn't not the right decision coming in heavy. To be honest, bad idea.
It definitely showed.
Alfaga saying, "You talk too much. Fuck you."
Hey man, come on, bro. Like we're trying to keep this
Also, multi with Jesus is Lord. Thank you very much.
Bro, come on, like
pure sim 316. No sim racing, no lives. Joyce Knox Fury and Usyk clean out.
I disagree.
I want to see those fights.
Fury not so much. Fury not so much.
Yeah, I want to see those fights. Joshy D saying who won. Joyce won 11 round, I believe TKO, because he knocked Parker down. Parker managed to get up just before the count, and the referee waved it off.
Yeah.
So 11 round TKO. F saying Zhang and Ergovich above AJ.
There's no way.
Pure Sim saying Parker got put to sleep.
No, for the most part,
he got up.
He got up.
A heavy shot. He took a heavy shot. Etty saying Ruiz has a great chin. Agree? Yeah, I agree. And to be honest, Ruiz, if he gets on the inside and lands those uppercuts, he looks dangerous, man. If he gets on the inside, he can be quite dangerous. Off my cloud, Fury, Joyce, Usyk, Wilder, AJ.
I'm not going to criticize that. Put it that way. I think that's a fair enough, to an extent. I can see why he would make that comment. Why Off My Cloud would make that comment, give his rankings. But I think, I don't think Joyce is number 2. I think because of this fight, how he's shown, how he's fought, I don't think Joyce is number 2. I think if anything, 3rd, 4th, and 5th will be between AJ, Joyce, and Wilder. But I'll say AJ will probably edge it. But at the same time, if AJ does finish 5th, again, I'm not really surprised, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and when I look at these names as well, I just think, you know what, we're in a really good time in terms of heavyweight boxing. Because I'd love to see all these people just fight each other. All that 5 on that list that Off My Cloud is mentioning, I want to see all of them fight each other.
I
They're
mean,
all great fights. They're all
it's
great
beautiful to
fights.
see. It's beautiful to see because for so long during the Klitschko era, there wasn't much activity in the heavyweight division. I mean, we saw the hype, all the fights, the big fights, the worldwide household, name fights going towards the lower ranking divisions. Now the heavyweight division is coming back up. So it's good to see for boxing, for heavyweight boxing as a whole. It's good to see that coming back. I mean, like the saying goes, whenever people say, "Oh, he's a heavyweight fighter," or "heavyweight," the championship rounds, the heavyweight championship, it has a ring to it. Saying, the welterweight champion or the middleweight champion, don't get me wrong, credit to that's due its respect. But saying the heavyweight fight, that has a different ring to it. So I think it's good to see the heavyweight division coming back into it. All this different competition coming in, all this drama happening, big drama shows. Golovkin would say, all these stuff coming in, all these different fights coming in. These upsets coming, all this competition intertwined. It's very good to see, and we're in a very good era, and hopefully long may it continue.
Totally agree. However, Pure Sim saying Fury's a bum. I think he's just joking. Choice something else, says
Yeah,
Famadimo. Choice knocks Fury out. Interesting.
disagree with that.
Heisenberg. Ruiz has incredible hand speed too. Oh yeah, agree. Yeah, he's actually super fast for quite a. I wouldn't say a chubby guy, but obviously like usually comes in heavier, but really fast
Yeah,
hands. Boz, come on, you can't put Joyce ahead of Usyk.
exactly.
Ben Hills, Usyk can't knock out any of the top 5. Yeah, although I think he's more of the guy to kind of win on points in a way.
Yeah,
as
that's
well.
his style. That's credit. Boxing is not just about, especially heavyweight boxing. It's not just about knockout power, even though that's more pertinent, more relevant to the division than anything else. But it's not always that.
Agree. Although then I guess we agree in that he can't knock out any of the top 5, probably. However, he might be able to win on points. Pure Sim Joyce has everything but speed. Agree. But it seems like for now it doesn't matter. Like the guy still just keeps winning on the basis of that power there. Jermaine with a top 5. Fury, Usyk, Wilder, AJ Joyce. Fury, Usyk, Wilder.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put Wilder there.
But
the rest
that's a tough one. Again,
they should all be in the top 5. Right?
Yeah.
Do we agree with that at least? Just the
Yeah.
ordering.
Again, I'm not going to
put
criticize.
Fury number 1. I still think you'd put Fury
Yeah,
number 1.
easy.
So we both put
Easy.
Fury number 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5 is a bit more. Boz, he doesn't have to knock out anyone. Yeah, exactly. Making the point that we mentioned. Heisenberg, they don't want to fight each other.
I disagree. I think
sign a contract.
Fury is not afraid to fight anyone. Fury will legitimately fight anyone. He does not care. He's the one fighter in my Usyk as well. But I say, actually, both Fury and Usyk, they're not afraid to fight, especially Fury. I mean, Fury came back from such a layoff, said, I'm going to fight Wilder straight. That first fight, robbery, absolute ridiculous, atrocious decision given as a draw. Fury was robbed that fight, but he's not afraid of getting into it. So I think Fury is not afraid to fight anyone. AJ, yes, because he's the golden egg, and obviously Hearn doesn't want to destroy his standing.
Although he's lost a bit of his shine now, innit? That's why he's fine. That's why he's fine to jump into a fight with Fury, right? Which is a very difficult fight for him. But I think it's because I think Eddie is also. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Eddie is a bad guy who's simply seen Joshua as like a golden egg that he can utilize. However, in a way, I think Eddie would have been way more protective of Joshua if Joshua had, for example, beaten Usyk, right?
Yeah.
So like, I think now Eddie's probably like, listen, you obviously lost your O a long time ago when you lost to Ruiz, but you got it back, fine. But obviously you lost to Usyk twice now. I think it's time to just start taking big fights and don't think too much about your undefeated record because you don't have one anymore. So just go for it because people still want to see him fight. As he said, Eddie's always said people still, even though Joshua's lost, people want to see Joshua fight because AJ is the guy that brings in the numbers. AJ is the guy that a lot of people value and like watching as casuals. The casual boxing fan, with respect to both these two fighters tonight, they don't want to watch Joyce versus Parker.
Yeah,
They
that's
want to
true.
watch they want to watch a fight that has AJ in it, or has Fury in it, or maybe now has Usyk in it, and
But the
maybe in the
prob-
US they want to see a fight with Wilder probably, or even
but
Ruiz for the Mexicans. You know what I
the
mean?
the yeah, I do. I mean, that's a good point. I mean, but to be honest, I think Wilder's stock so-called stock price in America isn't as high as it should be. But in regards to your comment about the casuals want to watch Joshua, it's true. But at the same time, it's like a double-edged sword, if that's the right analogy. Casuals, they don't really care for boxing like that, and I do think that as a consequence, as a result, the more AJ loses, the more he has had his breakdown. So that's not really gonna put him in a great light. The more that's taken effect, the more that's happening, I think the casual will be less and less interested in him. I think they'll be more interested in in Fury or Usyk. The O's got to go. I think the more if AJ loses his next fight or couple of fights and has more for breakdown in the ring and off crazy behavior, I think the casuals will be less and less interested in him.
Mm.
But who knows? We'll see.
Boz talking about Frank Sanchez, who's one of the I believe one of the Cuban fighters who has been currently on an undefeated record. 30-year-old guy. He beat Christian Hammer by unanimous decision in January, and it'll be interesting to see his other fights. Why now says Wilder v Joyce would be interesting. To be fair, agree. LB says don't sleep on Parker. He still has power. Agree. Although I think now, as we said earlier, I think he is more of a, to some extent, gatekeeper type of.
As in,
option.
I want to say. I say,
and I use gatekeeper in the most polite way. I'm not saying he's like a bum, obviously.
I'd say he's a so-called gatekeeper for the top 3 fighters in the world.
Yeah, for elites. Yeah, to see if you're on that elite kind of top 4 type of level or whatever, right? Moving on. Wilder one-trick pony bum.
When people call fighters bums, I can understand from the fans' perspective, but to be honest, in my opinion, no boxer is a bum. I mean, it takes absolute, tremendous bravery to get into the ring. For want of a better word, tremendous bravery to get into the ring. So, but I mean, I do definitely agree. He's a one-trick pony, and I think his attitude in his fights hasn't really helped him. I mean, with the second fight where he came in wearing that 43-kilo stupid robot sort of dress, I don't know, that Lord of the Rings,
too heavy,
or whatever. Yeah, excuses and excuses and excuses, and then blaming his manager, who actually, or one of his coaches, who actually wanted to look out for him. It's ridiculous, absolute stupid behavior by Wilder. How dare he disrespect his coach? Who's looking at? He's not just any coach. I think he was in the Olympics team, Mark Breland, and I think he's gone on to accomplish other great stuff. How dare he say that to him? He's more experienced than you. Wilder has yes men around him, and that's not what you need, especially in a sport like boxing. It's a very dangerous sport. You don't muck around with this stuff. You don't, like they say, you don't play boxing. You can't end up doing that. You can't end up having excuses. And in all fairness, I used to have a lot of love and respect for Wilder, but after that, completely lost it. His excuse was ridiculous. I do not like him at all. I think he's a joke in terms of his behavior and his attitude.
Russell Lesson saying, what time will the event begin in UK time? So the event has concluded. It started around 10:30 p.m. UK time. Joyce has won the fight by TKO in round 11 after knocking Parker down. Parker got back up before the bell, and then the referee waved it off. Heisenberg saying that AJ fans are insane. They think it's Fury's fault that AJ doesn't want the fight.
That's interesting, because beforehand I thought Fury was talking a bit, too much, making up excuses and all of that stuff. But after he took up the Wilder fights, it tells me that Fury is serious about making it, and he made the offer to AJ and they accepted. The problem is with Fury, I'd say 2 things. I think first of all, we're so accustomed to seeing Fury saying he's retired, he's back, he's finished, he's done, he's back. It makes you think, he's a bit all over the place. I mean, which one is it? I mean, I know he's perhaps doing this for attention, for hype, but that could be a reason for it. But this, that does affect how we ultimately, see him. You know, are you telling the truth? Are you not? Because if you're lying about these things, changing your mind, what's to make us think you're not lying or changing your mind about other things as well? At the same time, I do think, I mean, they're picking AJ up now. They're making the offer to AJ in a huge moment of weakness for him. I think if AJ was smart about it, he should. But what's the phrase? Bite his tongue, or don't let his ego or pride get in the way. Take
Mm.
up maybe 2-3 tune-up fights against those so-called gatekeepers, another Pulev or a
Yeah.
Parker or Chisora or a Povetkin. Build his confidence back up. Work on a few more. So, I mean, Fury did the same thing after the first Wilder fight. He had the fight with Otto Wallin, which I think he got the cut on his eye. He
Hmm.
had the other, I think, Romanian fella as well.
Hmm.
So I think that's what he should do. But with Team Fury, they're picking up on AJ at a very weak point in his career, and they know that AJ is going to be, very pride and ego driven. So I'm going to take the fight. I'm going to take the fight. So, and I think as a result, they're taking advantage of that. And I understand Eddie Hearn recently said, I think yesterday or earlier today, that they sent a contract, but it's all over the place, and it's like, it's leaning heavily towards Fury, i.e., it's not fair. Some of the clauses that they've mentioned haven't been fair towards AJ. So I can understand as to why Team AJ are saying no. Okay, let's fix the contract up first.
Mm.
But I don't think in a situation like this that Team AJ are going to try, be around the bush and try throw their way around, because AJ's stock level has driven. He's definitely not the A side anymore. Well, between him and Fury, he's not the A side at all, not in the slightest. Fury is the A side. Fury can ultimately dictate the terms, and I think that's a very fair decision to go forward.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Fury's doing what he can to make the fight happen. To
Mhm,
be honest, he's got nothing
mhm,
else to some extent. Fury's got nothing else to prove.
mhm,
He doesn't
mhm,
really need this fight, but I think in a way, he is taking advantage of this
mhm,
situation because AJ's at a very low point in his career. I
mhm.
mean, obviously, he's still young enough to keep fighting and so on, but he's in a low point so far as
Yep.
his last few fights are concerned. Um, but hopefully Fury's doing this fight also through recognizing the fact that it's going to be the biggest British boxing fight for a very long time, if
It
ever.
would have been bigger. It would have been bigger
If
had
Joshua had
Fury.
like
Yes.
had
Yes.
won some of his fights or something, right? Yeah,
Yes.
because then it's like, oh, both
Yes.
these fighters are like, at the
Yep.
top of their game or something. But yeah, it'll
Yep.
still be very interesting. Boz saying he beat a Jagba 2, referring to I think Frank Sanchez,
Yep.
the
Yep.
Cuban
Yep.
Cuban boxers. One to watch. One to watch. Um, QualityShot saying I love to call fighters bums sometimes. Why now? Ruiz has the hand speed and footwork to outbox Joyce, but I reckon Joyce would beat Ruiz by wearing him down. That would be an interesting fight to see. That would be a very interesting fight to
Yep.
see as well.
Yep.
Because
I think
Ruiz
a
can
lot with
definitely
these.
take a punch as well.
Not like Joyce. Not like Joyce, in my opinion. Not like Joyce. He can take a hit, but not like
Yeah,
Joyce.
yeah,
Mm.
not like Joyce, not like Joyce. But no, it would be interesting to see because both of them are kind of heavy hitters though.
Mhm,
Both of them
mhm,
are heavy
mhm.
hitters. Boz, I always thought Parker lacked something important, but wasn't too sure what. Guess it's the killer instinct. He's too nice. Um,
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
he did try quite a lot in the first few rounds of the fight to try and like go toe to toe, and it
First
didn't
few
work out.
rounds, for the most part of the fight, from what I saw, Parker was
Yeah,
going at it.
there were points where Parker was trying to
Mm,
box, in my opinion. But I agree that throughout the whole fight, he still did, yeah, slip in some kind of
mhm,
more aggressive toe-to-toe type
mhm.
fighting. Maybe he lacks the killer instinct when he is trying to go toe-to-toe anyway, right? I mean, I think his game plan was wrong. Should have boxed. Should have boxed today.
Mm.
Off McLeod Fury's a headfucker in many ways than one, and AJ is an easy target. Last fight showed he's mentally weak.
let's just say, make this
AJ.
more family PG, rate suitable. I agree. I agree. I simply, but I agree.
Yeah, I'm gonna sound. So AJ's not in any position to dictate the terms. Agree. Jeffrey, the jug is too much. Man said is pure granite. Parker showed good heart, but he was just
Mhm.
overpowered by Joyce. Good KO to end it as well. Agree. It's a good summary of the fight there, Boz. That's why you should fight Wilder to see if he can take his punches. Joyce, that is. Um, Heisenberg, Ruiz is too flat-footed. His footwork isn't a strength of his. Parker could have gotten Chisora and I assume White out of there if he was more of a ruthless fighter. Yeah, fair. All right. I think we're gonna be wrapping up. Um, after we do just a quick review from us as
Yep.
to how the fight went, and then I think we'll wrap up
Yep.
the stream. But thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. Do you wanna give me your closing remarks
Yeah.
before we close up the stream?
I think it was an interesting fight. It was a good fight to watch. I mean, quite a few surprises. I mean, Parker's game plan was completely thrown out the window. I thought, had he used his brain, had he boxed properly, had he boxed cleverly, and gone in for using his speed. I mean, first of all, I think he gained too much weight, and I thought he did that as a means of trying to bulk up, beef up, gain more strength and power. I think that was very surprising from him. I think his strategy as well. He tried to go for the knockout too quick and too often. Biggest decision, biggest mistake he could have made against a fighter of Joe Joyce's caliber. I think what he should have done was go in for a few more, jabs, combinations, and out, jabs, combinations, and out. So, I mean, that's a very big surprise. He did show a lot of courage and heart, and that's we have to give credit where credit is due. I think he showed a lot of tremendous heart, tremendous courage, and he went toe to toe with Joyce. I think Joyce was, in terms of his power, I mean, just stellar. I mean, his granite chin is ridiculously strong. How he took some of those hits and carried on, and he took some hits and he kept on coming. I think towards the later rounds, after the halfway point, there were times, and even you saw it, where Parker just gave like three couple of jumping left hooks to the face, and Joyce just took it. At the end of the round, he said, "You know what? Let me just take this for bants." Bam, 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 bam. Finish the round. Just ridiculous. He's got so much resistance and resilience in him. It's crazy. But I think overall, a fair outcome. The TKO. I mean, it was coming anyway. Parker's face was absolutely bloodied up on both sides, and to the extent where his shorts was so bloodied, I thought that was the design of the shorts. Even I said, is that his weird design? Is that the blood? Oh, crazy. But I mean, and another surprising thing, Joyce was up on the scorecards. I was very surprised to see that. I thought Parker would have been, had he used his brain and boxed instead of fought. But what can you say? But that's my take on it. And I, hope first and foremost, most importantly, both fighters go back to their families in a very safe condition.
Excellent. No, I couldn't say it any better, to be honest. No, I agree with everything you've said in terms of summarizing that fight. I think first round was quite close. Could have gone to Parker there, as you'd given it to Parker, for example. I think following the first round, it was pretty much all Joyce. Joyce started really taking control, especially in the middle half of the fight. I gave Parker the fourth round, but otherwise it was all Joyce. And as we had initially suggested, if Parker was to win, he would have to win on points, and he definitely wasn't able to do that. He did try go toe to toe, which, as you mentioned, wasn't maybe the best option. He came in heavier than he necessarily should have. Potentially could have reassessed that looking back on it. Credit to him, strong chin, still kept himself up until the 11th round. Devastating left hook by Joyce. It just shows you that Joyce is relentless with that power, and he's got a crazy chin as well. As you mentioned, he was able to take that triple or double hook by Parker in one of those rounds at the end of one of the rounds, and he just ate it. looked completely
Yep.
unaffected.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see a Joyce versus Usyk fight, and I'm pretty sure that will happen.
Yeah.
He is a mandatory. Let's see what Usyk decides to do now.
Hmm.
And I'm sure we'll catch you on the next fight, whatever that is.
Definitely.
It
Definitely.
might be the Eubank Ben fight potentially.
Yep.
So we will see you on the next one. Thank you very much for
For
tuning in. I
sure.
think at some point we had more than 220,
Yeah.
250 people tuning in,
Hmm.
which was really nice to see. We had so many comments coming in and everything like that. So we really enjoyed it, reading everyone's comments and watching this one together. So catch you on the next one, and it's
Definitely.
been good. Take care.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure as always. Guys, we thank you so much for watching. You know, I speak on behalf of Mo as well and the rest of the Quality Shot Boxing channel. Thank you so much for all your viewership, for getting involved, for your comments. This is exactly what we want to have all the time. People, you know, difference of opinions. Keep it PG related, PG suitable. No swearing, no bad words. But it's good to see that. I mean, would like, you know, as always, like, comment, and subscribe down below. It'd be good to see, you know, see everyone here once again for the future fights.
Yeah, cool. Cheers, everyone, and have a good rest of the weekend. All right, peace out. Bye bye.